Hi, so as you can already tell by the title of this video and the look on my face, this video is not one of my regular videos. I am not going to talk about makeup, but about a condition that I was recently diagnosed with, and it's been exactly a week since I was diagnosed with Bell's palsy. Bell's palsy or Bell's palsy is a temporary facial paralysis which happens because of the seventh cranial nerve, which passes from the skull to the face and connects the facial muscles and tissues and is responsible for the movement of those facial muscles. If there's any kind of damage or malfunction that happens to that nerve, you tend to get this condition. It's a temporary paralysis, and right now the right side of my face is completely frozen. The reason why I'm sitting down to make this video is because firstly it's going to help me a lot because I need to let this out. As someone who's always on social media, we put our lives out, so I thought why not do this as well, because this is so shocking for me, because something like you always imagine that no, something like this can never happen to you, it always happens to other people. But when it happens to you, you realize that you could have done something to prevent it. Even though Bell's palsy is something that happens randomly to random people, there are a few preventive measures that you can take. Secondly, I want to raise awareness about it, not just let out whatever I have inside of me, but also to help other people understand this condition. It's not a very common condition, but it's not very rare as well. In the last 1 week, I've met so many people who've said, oh, this happened to someone I know, this happened to me, this happened to my sister, my brother, etc., etc. So I know for a fact that this is not very uncommon, but it's not very common as well. So I'm going to just tell you a little bit about my diagnosis, what happened, how it happened and everything. So I'm someone who is basically a state spokesperson. I'm into event management. That's my full-time profession. And the wedding season was at its peak around the first 2 weeks of December. So around the 10th of December, the weather in Calcutta was really wet and it was cold and it was raining. The temperature had gone down a lot. So the weather was really dull. And at that point I thought that I would lose my voice because I was probably coming down with a throat infection, because obviously you tend to not always carry a scarf or protective clothing or stuff. So I know that I had exposed my ear, nose and throat and everything else to cold air. So I thought I was coming down with the throat infections. I saw a doctor. He gave me medicated strepsils. He gave me some antibiotics, and that was done. My throat was feeling better. Around the 12th of December, I realized that the tonsil on the right side of my face is kind of paining, and it started to swell up. And on the 13th, the pain had gotten worse. So 13th evening, I was like, it's already too late. Maybe I'll go and see a doctor tomorrow, because if the pain gets so severe, that pain had already started, irritating my ear. It had spread to my ear. So I had decided I'll go to the doctor the next day, because ear pain is actually very irritating. So I went to sleep. The next morning, that is the 14th of December, that is the day when I was diagnosed with this. I woke up in the morning and I went to brush my teeth, and that is when I realized that I don't have a lot of control on the movement of my lips, and the foam and the water was just drizzling out. It was just falling, like it was just going out of my mouth, and I didn't have any control about it. So I kind of freaked out. I spoke to my mom. She said that the left side of your face, it kind of looks swollen, and she freaked out as well. And it was not exactly like this, but the paralysis was setting in. So I started looking for some ENT specialists around me who were available. No one was available. People were available in the evening. So I was like, okay, I'll go in the evening. In the meantime, let me Google. So as usual, you should never Google, but I definitely did. And the symptoms resulted in me having mumps and having cancer, and having Bell's palsy was one of those ailments that came up. And at the same time, there was measles, and I don't know, God knows, everything else came up. I was literally shitting bricks. I'm like, okay, fine, let's give Google a rest and let's get ourselves some rest. So I went for a nap, and I was like, I'll wake up around in an hour or so, and then I'll go to the doctor. By that time, my doctor was supposed to be available. So I went for a nap. And when I woke up at about 5 in the evening, my face was like this. I was talking like this, and I realized that once I was actually too bothered with my this side which was moving and looked swollen, that I did not realize that what looked like was a swelling on the left side was actually my right side frozen. That is not something that I didn't realize. Nevertheless, I went to the doctor. My mom asked my boyfriend to take me because there was so much going on in the house. She couldn't take me, so he came over and he took me to the doctor. And he's an ENT specialist, my doctor, and he saw me. He asked me, when did this happen? And I said, this happened this morning. And he asked me, do you know what this is? And I was like, is this Bell's palsy? Now, I don't know why that was the first thing that I said. I don't know why he asked me. Probably he guessed that kids these days are googling everything before coming here. And he said, yes, this is Bell's palsy. And because I had googled it and I had not read in detail about it, I was like, I know that this is paralysis, but I did not know that this is temporary. So at that time, I literally broke down at the doctor's office. And the moment he uttered the word Bell's palsy, my boyfriend was already on Google reading up all about it. And he kind of gave me a reassuring look. The doctor said, calm down, don't worry, it's fine, it's temporary, it is a short-term thing. You will be fine in, say, 2 weeks to a month. And someone came into my office in the morning earlier and he had the same condition, so there's nothing to worry about. You're going to have to take a lot of medicines, you're going to have to take a lot of precaution, you're going to have to take physiotherapy, but you are going to be fine. So that was pretty reassuring. So yes, he prescribed a lot of medicines to me, and some of them are steroids. So steroids actually help jumpstart your hormones, and they go into a frenzy and they kind of start giving your muscles some extra horsepower and all of that. So the side effects, they also have their side effects. These steroids, these are prescription steroids. So weight gain is one of them. So I know that I'll be gaining weight some in this week. Nevertheless, so I left the doctor's office. I came back home. I told my mom, and she was so freaked out. She was so worried. She still is worried sick, and everybody around me was worried because the word paralysis is itself a very difficult to digest word. The word paralysis scares the shit out of people, but when you add temporary ahead of it, it kind of makes the situation a little better. So yes, so I have Bell's palsy. It's been 1 week since I was diagnosed. In the last 1 week, this is what my face has been like. So if I try to raise both my eyebrows, I can't. This eyebrow has completely drooped. So as you can see, this is the side that is affected. So I can't move, I can't smile. This is the best smile I can come up with. So my face, because this side is frozen, so my muscles are gradually going towards, my face is going towards that side so that I can come up with the best expressions. So right now I look like Dwayne Johnson and Sylvester Stallone, a mix of both of them. Jokes apart, I have realized that when something like this happens to you, you kind of realize your privileges, because the amount of love that I have been given by my family, by my loved ones, my boyfriend, his family, it's just so much, and I appreciated that people care about me so much. My boyfriend keeps telling me that you're going to be fine, you look better today. He keeps telling me every day that I'm looking better than yesterday, and that's a real motivation for me. My mom, she is always on her feet, and she is giving me all kinds of good juices and stuff, and she's cooking for me, and I'm getting to eat the best kind of food staying at home. So that kind of tells you, everyone around me, they're being so supportive, so encouraging that you're going to be fine, there's nothing to worry about. But at the same time, I know that they're worrying themselves sick. So I haven't really broken down as such, but these things, when they happen to you, you kind of tend to break, because I make money by talking on stage. I'm someone who gets paid to talk, and I can't go up on stage with a face like this. I can't make makeup videos with a face like this. I can't attend events with a face like this. I mean, I can, but then it will become a bit awkward for the other people to see me like this. So this was actually one of those things that I thought that would never happen. I never imagined that something like this could ever happen to me, or something like this was even possible, where your face suddenly freezes and you can't talk. Usually paralysis, I need to just clear this up. Paralysis, if you have like real paralysis, it usually stems from a stroke. So if you have a stroke, if you are getting dizzy and if there's something wrong with your brain, if you feel that you need to get it checked, please do so immediately. Don't ignore it. Usually a stroke will result in paralysis. This is temporary paralysis. This is because my nerve has been inflamed. Yes, so now that everything else about my diagnosis and everything is done, let me tell you a bit more about how you can avoid Bell's palsy, what happens if you get diagnosed with it, how you can treat it. So treatment. I have been taking my medicines, which are steroids, antiviral shots, not shots, antiviral tablets. Steroids is a nerve medicine, and some medicines for gas and stuff. So I've been taking all my medicines on time. It's a 5 to 10 day course, and I'm through a week now. Also, physiotherapy is very important. You need to massage your face. Your physiotherapist will show you some exercises. So I'm doing those exercises like stretching my mouth, trying to make circles, and trying to say the alphabet out loud, trying to smile. I'm also massaging my face ever so gently with some oil upwards. That's what my doctor had also said. And I just have to wait it out. I don't have any other option. So it will take me maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, maybe 4, maybe 2 months. So everybody, they recuperate at a different speed. So recovery is very different for every different individual. I have no idea honestly how long it's going to take me to recover from this, but I hope that it's not very long. Some people have even said like the rarest of the rare cases, Bell's palsy lasts in them for over a year, and I just hope that I'm not one of them, because that would be really, really tough for me. It's very important to stay positive. It is very easy to lose your sanity over something like this when you constantly look into the mirror, when you can't apply makeup because it just I can't even blink. So basically, because of this paralysis, I'm trying to blink, and because of this I can't blink, so I have to use eye drops to make sure that my eye doesn't dry out, and at night I have to tape it shut with a eye patch so that my eye stays closed at night and it doesn't dry out. So these are the challenges that I'm facing. Eating and drinking are a bit of a challenge, but I've learned to control it. I mean, I have learned to get around it in the last couple of weeks because I don't have any other option. The taste in my mouth has changed because I'm taking all these medicines. I feel sleepy all the time because of these steroids. Another side effects of these steroids is that weight gain is very much a huge possibility. So I might just end up looking a little more healthier than I am right now, and there are a lot of number of other side effects. Now that I've told you whatever I know about Bell's palsy, let me tell you how you can prevent it. Preventing Bell's palsy is a very vague subject because no one really knows how it happens. Sometimes it can happen if you have diabetes, but not all diabetic people have Bell's palsy. It can happen if you have a viral infection in your body, but not everybody who has a viral infection gets Bell's palsy. Mostly it happens because of exposure to cold, like a cold blast of air. So what you can do to protect yourself from getting something like this is to keep your ears and your neck region and everything really warm and protected from cold blast of air, especially if it's raining and the weather is really cold and chilly. So make sure that your ears are covered. If you're riding a bike, make sure that you're wearing a good muffler or a scarf and your ears are warm and covered. If you're in a car, make sure that the windows are rolled up. No cold blast of air should be around your ENT area, which can result to that nerve getting affected. Don't get wet in the rain unnecessarily, and if you do, make sure that you are coming back indoors and taking care of yourself. So basically you have to protect yourself from real cold, and that is probably the only preventive measure that I can tell you about Bell's palsy. That is what my doctor told me, so that is the best I can do. Today, the 7th day, is my second visit to the doctor. I'm going to visit him again, and I'm going to update him about my medicines and my course of treatment and physiotherapy, and he's going to examine me and let me know what to do in the future. So that's about it from me about Bell's palsy. Let me know what you think about it. Have you ever experienced something like this? Has anyone around you experienced something like this? If anyone else is experiencing something like this around you, then maybe you can talk to them and see if you can help them out and inform them in any way. And until then, I'm holed up at home, not going out much. I am going to try and make the best use of my time. I can devote more time to the blog now. So I'm going to post another update when I have recovered about it, and I'm going to try and do something productive and constructive in the meantime. So that is my Bell's palsy diagnosis story. Let me know if you have anything to say about it, and thank you so much for watching.